Oh, man.
It is the world's only food podcast recorded in a car. Look at this. I've got Vic and Tyler, two very funny guys from the comedy team, Team Us.
That's
hanging
right.
out.
Yeah.
We're outside Alba's on Chicago Avenue. And I should say before we begin, this podcast is brought to you by Boost Mobile. This phone I'm recording the Facebook live stream on, this phone that I've used to communicate back and forth, that we've emailed on, is a Samsung Galaxy S8 phone, which I run on the fantastic Boost Mobile network. And look at this. People are signing on.
Wow.
Kevin Kellum.
Hey, Kevin. Yeah.
You know
I
Kevin?
Yeah.
Fellow comic?
I'm doing a show with him on Thursday.
Very funny dude. I love how this Car Con Carne brings people together.
Here we are.
Doing
it.
It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
All right, so we're in front of Alba's on Chicago Avenue. And here's the thing about taquerias in Chicago. Do we all kind of agree that they're all kind of the same? I've kind of reached that conclusion.
Yeah, I struggle to say that, but I think it's true. I just don't. I feel like that's a controversial opinion to have.
At this point, and I've had many tacos, early in the day, late at night, I'm not sure what makes a good taco anymore.
You got to have a food truck to be legit.
I mean, I think there are definitely criteria for a good taco. Like all taquerias are the same until they're not. So they're all the same until you get a bad one. We just haven't found a bad one, which is good. It's a good sign.
Well, and usually, don't you find out if they're bad after the fact, like hours later?
Yeah, well, fair. Well, but I mean, if it tastes good, we're talking about the going in process,
So I got here a little early. This is my curse in life. I'm early to everything. It drives everyone I know insane, but I'm always early. So I figured I'm just going to order for you guys. There's no one in there.
Yeah, I was like,
okay.
I feel like you just cleared them out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, so are you saying that could be a sign that it's not the greatest?
I don't know. It's a Wednesday night. Maybe it's not a big taco night.
It's cold.
It's not
cold
Tuesday.
out.
It is cold out as we're recording this here in mid-January. But I got us 2 tacos each. I hope that's enough. And if it's not, we can go back in. I got 2 steak, I got 2 pork, and 2 pollo. I don't know why I'm switching from English to Spanish.
I like how you try to be authentic there. Threw it in at the end.
Got 2 beefsteak and
I liked it better before. You were good.
and 2 chicken tacos.
There you go.
So we're going to dig into those. Before we start eating tacos, and we just met. So is this awkward? I mean, literally, I saw you guys get out of an Uber, and seconds later, I just ushered you into my car.
Yeah, you also assumed very quickly it was us. You're like, 2 shady-looking fellas. Must be comics. Get them in here.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what you guys look like.
Also creepy. We just met. I know what you look like.
I've been watching you on the internet.
Yeah.
Hey, you're funny guys. Let's talk about your very first stand-up special, which you just recorded.
Yeah, last Saturday. Or was it 2 Saturdays ago?
2 now.
Yeah.
Well, when people hear this podcast, it could very well be a month ago.
Yeah.
It was January 6th, 2018.
Yeah.
For the record book. Yeah.
All right, so the name of the special is?
Friends with 401k benefits.
Okay, this sounds like it's born of corporate frustration.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, so Vic and I and our third producer and kind of part of Team Us Comedy is Megan Dirty, fellow comedian of ours. 3 of us have corporate jobs. We've been working the 9-to-5 lifestyle for the last couple of years. When we started comedy, we all kind of gravitated towards each other because we are corporate people during the day. And it kind of informs the stuff we talk about and the places that we started producing shows.
Do you get all your ducks in a row as corporate people? Do you shift paradigms? Is that what you do?
I mean, I'd like to think our ducks are pretty lined up.
Damn, I don't even know what that means.
I was deferring to you.
Yeah, I know. You're like,
I think we got that line. Vic, you taking this one?
I mean, we're an LLC. Are you talking about our filing status? Like, what?
It's corporate lingo. Like, do you take conversations offline?
You're just jargon. Are we going to loop back and circle?
So, see, this is funny. This is actually this is a good thing that we don't know what he's talking about because Tyler and I work at a startup.
Yeah.
So we're so removed now
from the corporate
world.
Yeah.
It's good that we
both were at very big corporate companies, and we would loop
changed.
back. We would follow up. We would. What are the other buzzwords? We were going to get some
please advise. We would advise a lot.
Do you ping each other?
We were doing a lot of pinging.
Got to ping Vic.
We would. Yeah, we
I'm
would.
not sure what to do. We should
a lot of
Vic.
my last email for people who can't read.
That's the
most passive aggressive. Per per my last email.
See the attached.
And
working at a
italicize
startup
it.
is great because you get like occasional like free food. You get some
Every
cool
day.
perks. You get to work for like 70 hours a week for less pay than people in typical corporate jobs. I mean, startups are amazing.
We're lucky, man.
Yeah,
Our startup is very relaxed, which is awesome. It's very different than our corporate lives.
It's also like I think we call it a startup. It's a small company.
It's
like
small
it's
tech
40
company.
people at this point. Tyler, you joined a little bit earlier than I did,
Yeah.
but I would say now it's starting to stabilize a little bit. So like you have kind of the balance of like corporate, like you got benefits that are robust, things like that. But then you have like the
robust.
startup.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
the
that
corporate
is-
buzzword.
I'm in HR though, so I have to talk like
You
this.
are HR.
I'm external facing, so I still have to talk like
very
this.
robust.
Yeah.
You talk like a real person.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Robust is
hate
a
myself
good
because
one.
I talk all day on phone screens, and I'm like, let me give you the elevator pitch of what we do, and I'm like, oh, who am I?
See, now my perception of HR, especially in like the startup or small company world, it's usually like fresh out of college, like 22-year-old girls doing those screens. And like,
Not me.
I don't know if
Could not
Nick
be
was
more
going to take
different.
kindly to being compared to a 22-year-old girl.
Hey,
But
I got that
that's
youthful
mixed
skin. I like it. Yeah.
when I was job searching, I swear to Christ, that's all I experienced.
Really?
Was I could never actually get through to someone beyond like that.
That's like the
But
first.
that's
And
probably how you know that's not a company you're super excited about working
Yes,
for.
absolutely.
Like, I
right.
got the screener in here. I'm just hanging out.
If
I don't
everyone
wanna
here
deal
is
with this.
12. Yeah.
No, they get straight to the director of HR when they call.
Damn right.
That's because you don't have anyone to work on.
Yeah, I don't have anyone under me yet. We need to get an intern. This
So
is
define your skill set.
Yeah. Well, tell me your
Real
strengths and
buzzwords,
weaknesses
yeah.
before.
Yeah, how can you bring 10x growth to the podcast, Vic?
What's your
Let's
plan
talk
in the
about-
next 5
let's
years?
talk about synergy. What do we think
Yeah.
about the synergy that's happening? We can all loop back. We'll circle in.
Well, I got to say, Team Us is just chock full of synergy.
We're a very
Yeah.
synergistic
Oh my
organization.
gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh, well, let's talk about the special. So we
Yeah.
kind of established maybe where the name came from. You recorded this. What are you going to do with this? Where can we see this?
Yeah, so we recorded at CH Distillery here in Chicago. We produce a show there every month, and it's a local distillery.
And it's because Team Us likes the booze.
I mean, like you have a corporate life, you got to hit the bottle pretty hard,
Right.
You know, no, but
As you said that on cue, Vic was slamming his water bottle.
This is
Perfect.
vodka.
He's like, this
I
is
don't know
liquor.
if you-
Yeah.
It was sponsored
Yeah.
by CH.
no, but CH Distillery has been really good to us, and they're a great local distillery. Source all their materials from Illinois. So we wanted that to kind of be the backdrop and kind of set the tone for what the special was. So what we're going to do now is kind of take it as this, local Chicago comedy special. It's 3 Chicago comedians in a Chicago venue, and we're going to shop it around and kind of pitch it to some TV networks, some streaming platforms, see where we can get distribution on it. And we're going to have it released later this year, so
Yep.
late 2018.
Hopefully,
keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, either
folks.
we will release it independently, but ideally, like a streaming platform or some network will pick it up and do it at what they will. But hopefully, it'll come out in some form or fashion. And what we're actually selling to networks is not just a standard special where it's 3 comics doing 20 minutes. It's an intercut of us 3. It's kind of mixed around. So it might be Tyler doing a bit about something, cutting to me talking about a similar topic, cutting to Meg, cutting back and forth. So it's going to be kind of this cool, like, there's a special that Chris Rock did that was kind of similar where he did the same stand-up set in 3 different cities, and they cut between them. So that's kind of where I got the idea for it, and then we all talked about it, like, this is totally us. Like we have very different perspectives, but on similar topics. So let's.
But that's
bring
what I
them
was going to
together.
ask. Like, how well do you work together, just stylistically, that this special would make sense?
Yeah, because like Vic said, we have very different backgrounds. Meg was born in India, came here with her family when she was 8, I think. Vic and I both grew up in the suburbs, has very different backgrounds.
I'm a 22-year-old white girl.
Yeah, Vic is a 20-year-old white girl at heart.
You need that perspective. It's not. We're
And
losing
Tyler
a lot
grew
of
up
that.
on the mean streets of the lilac city of Lombard.
yeah. He's rolling it hard in Lompton.
I like how mean and lilacs are in the same sentence there. I've never heard those.
Hey,
two
if you got
things
allergies,
together.
it is. You can breathe in those lilacs,
Yeah.
you'll be sneezing all spring.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
So what you're saying is different personalities,
Yeah.
different approaches, but it all just kind of...
Yeah, and it all meshes together. We also all have different perspectives and different kind of tastes in comedy. So when we started working together as comedians, we would just come to the table and write together. And I couldn't tell if an audience would like my joke or not. If Vic and Meg could look at it and say, one of them would say that's stupid, one of them would say it's great, and then I can tweak it accordingly.
Yeah.
So it kind of helped us like get to what our final stuff was going to be, is having 2 very good critics that have very different tastes than you to take a look at the material that you have.
And that's kind of, I think, the way when we started writing and performing together, like we would go to open mics together, we would do these sort of like comic, like the growth stage together, which really helped. And we were also all friends before we really started doing comedy together a lot, which is, so we could get along without having a common goal, and then when we were like, oh, let's make this company together, it just only increased from there because we're like, we get along well, we all have similar kind of backgrounds, we work 9 to 5s, like let's just start making shows that fit our like motif and what we're about.
Love it. All right, let's bust open some food.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we're still on camera for the Facebook Live.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, let's watch us all eat.
Take a look at this, yeah. I wasn't super skeptical of this place being empty, but no one has gone in or out since we've been here.
I got to tell you, Tyler, no one's been here since 7.
No, this is terrible.
How long did the food take?
Oh, it came right up. No worries.
But it's like we were saying, though, like, there's so many very similar taquerias. Like, it could be that the food is fine.
Right across the
there's
street.
competition. You know, this food's
Right
fine.
across the street, there's another taqueria.
It smells good.
With a bigger sign.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the-
More neon.
And that looks like more of a friendly sit-down spot. I don't know. But that one also looks empty. This is the row of empty taquerias down here. Well, you know what? We're all going to find out.
We are. Okay.
It smells great.
So, do we care, like, who has what here?
No, I don't. Vic,
Yeah.
you have a preference?
I'll take if you give me a chicken one to start.
I don't even know. I mean, they're all...
I'm sorry, pollo. Yeah.
figure out what's in there.
We'll figure it out.
This is what it
Oh,
is.
it's
It's going to be what it's going to be.
Oh, this
All
is
right, let me do the-
intriguing already.
this looks like it's some sort of meat.
Yeah,
What is happening here?
Here's the challenge. 2 napkins, 3
Oh my
gentlemen.
So prepared. You got
This is
3
good
mics
already.
in here. You got headphones. You couldn't get the
There we go.
napkins.
But also, like,
Ripping up a napkin.
you guys haven't been real busy all day. You give us 2 napkins. 2 napkins. They're being cheap on the napkins.
Here, I'm going to fall on the sword. I'm going to be someone who shares the napkin.
Wow, you shouldn't have. Well, you and I can share.
No, you can
right?
just-
We'll pass it back and forth.
Tyler has the comfortable seat. So
No,
he-
just
he'll get the
assume
napkin.
I'm dirty. That's fine. Just pass it back.
We should have brought a towel for you.
Yeah, I know. I need a bib.
You know what's so funny? I opened up this taco. I have no idea. I'm
what-
looking
what
at it,
is-
and I don't know
wait.
what it is.
Oh, I'll
That
tell
one
you.
looks like steak.
Okay.
I don't know.
Here, hold
This
it up
looks-
to the...
Yeah, Facebook. Let Facebook
Yeah.
decide. What is that, you guys? Comment with what animal
This
this
is
looks
definitely.
like.
I think this one's definitely steak.
Good.
I have...
I put it in my mouth, and I still don't know.
I have pollo.
Then what
Okay.
the fuck is this?
Here, just trade me one pollo for one of these steaks.
All right, here.
Wait, then what's this other one?
Take the pollo.
Okay. Great.
It should be pork.
Oh, okay. I don't know what
Yeah,
part of
this is definitely
what part
steak.
of it. Yeah,
Oh,
that
this
one was
looks-
identifiable.
Okay, are we? Great. Awesome. Thank
Here we
you.
go. The exchange program.
Okay.
Here's the other fun thing. I have been vegan for like 8 months,
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, are you gonna do this?
and you know what? This
Are
is
you
a qual-
sure?
To me, this is a quality of life thing. You know, I
You're
just
walking
get-
away from it for
Wow.
tonight.
Well, no,
For the
see,
viewers,
I
this
don't-
is
see,
for
here's
the-
thing.
And the listeners, yes.
It's not that I. This is going to sound terrible. It's not like because I care about animals. It's just I wanted it to be healthy. But you know, when you have a good-looking taco in front of you, you sometimes you just got to do it.
You know what, Tyler? You're a good-looking taco.
Wow, this got weirder.
This is gross.
As we got to know each other.
I'm glad I'm in the back seat. I don't want to be part of this at all.
The steak is
Albus.
chewy.
in a good way.
I don't know.
You know what? I'm not a big fan of how they double tortilla this. I don't know. I feel like it's too much
I
tortilla.
like that.
That's the model.
I like the double tortilla.
I know it keeps it all contained, but and you can hold it without really
And
getting
I just
dirty.
like a good tortilla, I think. You know? We're all like, yeah. We're all really unsure if we like it or not.
You're right. Just like
I don't hate it.
No.
I feel like they're going to come out and be like, what do you guys say about the tacos?
Also, it just if anyone walked by, it just looks like we're trading drugs with all this foil. Like we're just
That's right. Did you see on Netflix? There's the they have like a 4-episode miniseries about the drug trade in America. They've got an episode on Chicago,
No.
and it's all basically the area around the United Center.
Really?
So just so you know, don't go walking around after a Bulls game.
Unless you're looking for heroin.
unless you're looking for some
Yeah.
heroin. Yeah.
Right.
That's informative. Give that a watch.
Thanks, Netflix.
Yeah.
I think it's called Dope.
I wonder
Yeah,
if that's...
I did
if
see that.
If drug dealers in that area have found that good for business. Like, people are like, oh, that's where you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
This is not awesome.
Yeah.
But,
It's food.
yep, you're right. Sustenance.
Vic is right. It is food.
How'd you pick this place?
I always go about the process. First, I identify where my guests live, or the general area they're from. Then I go on Google Maps and try to identify the cheapest possible place near where they live.
Well, that leads us to here. Okay. Google Maps has like the $3 signs, the $2 signs. This one just had like a penny next
Most
to it.
people go off star rating, but you're
no,
over here going
dollar
off.
signs.
Yeah, which restaurant has the cent symbols next
Yeah,
to its name
yeah.
as opposed to the dollar? The budget for Car Con Carne isn't as big as one might expect.
Hey.
Baby steps. Baby steps.
You know what, James? You could have fooled me with how nice this car is.
Uh-huh.
Considering how much eating goes on in here.
Someday, maybe we'll do tacos at a Rick Bayless restaurant, but today we're at Alba's on Chicago Avenue.
At first, when I heard about the podcast, I thought it was like, oh, this is nice. Like, you're bringing attention to some good local businesses, but it's really you just trashing how not good their food is.
No, this is not true. Now, I mean, to be fair,
no one ever come here again.
the last episode I did was at Kuma's Corner. So, I mean,
Could have been on that one, huh?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
yeah, the guest was Kuma's Corner. Yeah, so
You should have took him to Alba's.
yeah.
Like you've eaten here before.
Yeah,
Let's go
you've
somewhere
had
else.
All right, let the record show. I'm going to pause the eating of the steak taco, and I'm going to move on to the chicken taco, which perhaps will be better.
Perhaps.
What was the verdict on the steak? It was
like chewy and bland.
yeah.
That's unfortunate. It's sad to hear.
Kind of
Tyler, which
flavorless.
one are you eating?
Pork, I think. You want it?
You want to try the?
Is this chicken? What
I
is it?
think that's the steak one.
Oh, the chewy steak.
Yeah. This one looks actually not bad, but
This one looks not bad.
let's see.
Yeah, it's definitely a taco, but that's all it is. It's
We've
not,
confirmed it's a taco.
but it's not. It's nothing I would write home about. Not that I write very often, but
You don't send a letter home?
back to Lombard. No, it takes too long.
It's like soldiers coming home from war.
Yeah.
Come back to Lombard. Can wait for me at the metro station when I come back.
and then when you read the letter out loud, there's just piano music playing in the background.
All right, so we're done with the video. So now people don't need to see what we're doing here.
Oh God.
I think consensus between the three of us, perhaps Alba's isn't a return visit.
No.
No, I wouldn't be back. I'm sorry, Albus.
And it's so
Sorry
funny.
to Alba.
Like you said, it's not just like
specifically.
okay, there's tacos, they're all kind of similar. This was definitely a mark down. Like it was worse.
Right. We started the
than-
podcast by saying, aren't they all kind of the
Yeah,
same?
and then it just
Yeah,
but
I
this
really
one
had
wasn't. They
high
were
hopes, man.
below our expectations.
But Tuesdays, they got $2 tecates. So if you guys want to come back.
On Taco Tuesday. Speaking of Taco Tuesday,
Okay.
how is it that El Patron is closed on Tuesday?
I don't even know what El Patron is. Am I missing something?
Those are good tacos. Look
Okay.
at the square.
Okay.
Why would they be closed on Taco Tuesday? That's like
The Lord's Day or something, yeah.
maybe
You would
like
think
the White House closed on President's Day.
Yeah.
Or trees getting cut down on Arbor Day.
Or Earth Day.
Yeah, that does seem weird. Take Monday off.
Take Monday off. So, all right, let's go back to Team Us. It is the three of you. I mean,
Yes.
the two of you in the car plus one other. Is this open to more members? Is this kind of like the Justice League, where you might induct more people into the fold?
If only stand up was that cool. the Justice League. What do you? Well,
No, I think it's. I mean, the core of it is the three of us.
Yeah.
We kind of started this thing because we gravitated towards each other to work together to be better comedians and write together, and then we started producing shows together, and that gravitated to us becoming a company, and kind of running ourselves like a business. Now that we have a bigger operation and we're producing 4 or 5 shows a month, and we always have stuff on my bigger projects.
It sounds like a lot.
It's
Yeah,
become a lot,
it's
and it's become a lot, especially with the special was a big project that we're still working on. So we've talked about and toyed with the idea of bringing on other people to help us. We brought on an intern that we work with now. So there are other people in the fold, but the core team is us. And I think the special really solidified that, because it's like we aren't just this group of comics, this collective of comics who are floating around and playing around and doing stuff. It's like now we've written and produced a piece of film that is the three of us.
Like
And
we have
it's
an
a package
IMDb
together.
credit.
Yeah,
it's
and
like
it is kind
good-
of something we've packaged together. It's like, this is a show that we can take on the road and bring to a college or bring to a club, and it's the three of us. We are not only the company and the organization, but we are the show, and our voices, our unique voices together, are what makes Team Us Team Us.
Yeah, Vic, watching some of your act, you go to some places that, say, Tyler can't go to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Some of the,
Well, that's the thing. Tyler could go there, but he probably wouldn't be
Yeah.
a comedian.
I mean, you push some buttons
Yeah, a little
when
bit.
you're on stage.
Yeah.
I mean, are there things you still have to avoid? I mean, I feel like everyone is walking on eggshells these days.
Yeah.
Everyone is so hypersensitive and just looking for someone to make a misstep and pounce on that person. Is being a comic more risky these days?
I think you just have to. I think the quote I kind of identify with is no one has the right to not be offended, which is a great kind of argument towards say whatever you want. But the flip side to that is, no, if you say whatever you want, you will have to deal with the consequences, right? You can't also be expected to not have to deal with any shit for saying something awful on stage. So you have to
Right.
just be mindful of that. And I think as you grow as a comic, I listen to my early stuff, and it's it's always like from one side. Like maybe I'll push buttons now, but I'll also give the flip. Like you have to always think about the other side and think about the people you're not talking about and always filter it from your point of view. Like if you have a terrible joke, but it's something that happened to you personally, you can get away with that because it's like, I own that experience, it's me. Versus when you start, you're just kind of saying things that are topically funny or ideas that are like, you think people want to agree with, but then you just sound like bigoted or you sound crazy or sexist because you're purely just saying, well, the difference between men and women is this. Like, it's a very like cliche hack thing. So you have to find a way to turn that into your own personal experience. And I think that, like for me, like I think I've been able to do that because but it's a lot of trial and error. Don't get me wrong. Like,
sure.
I mean, I go back to stuff I can't even listen to because I'm like, I can't believe I said that. But then
even you were like, I'm offended.
I'm like, oh shit, who was that? That guy sucks.
That guy
like,
sucks.
wouldn't book him at all. But then, like to Tyler's point about how he said like your best friends are like your best critics too. Like when we write together and stuff, I can test a joke and be like, hey, like what do you guys think of this? Tyler can give me his point of view. Megan can give me her point of view. So it's like a great way for me to kind of clean up a lot of those rough edges and take that to a place where I can still get the reaction I want and really what I'm really trying to say, but without like maybe offending the people that I didn't want to actually offend.
Hey, Tyler, give me your perspective.
Yeah, I think it's that, like there's a lot of people, and I think comedians who just kind of at blanket say like, oh, everyone's just out to be offended, like comedy isn't allowed to be comedy anymore. But what I think is that like people's tastes have changed, and as a comedian your job is to be entertaining to, if you want to work to the masses, to a crowd full of people. So you can't make jokes that are going to alienate certain people, and if you do, you have to win them back somehow. So there are people who get away with saying stuff that's risky because of the character that they play, or because they can bring it back because they're likable, or they can show the other side of an issue or something like that. So to me it's an excuse, and it's almost a little lazy just to say like, well, people don't like this joke that I wrote because they're too sensitive, or people are trying to attack me. It's like, well, those people, that's your audience. That's what makes you that's what gives you work. That's what pays your bills, is people coming to see you do comedy. So
ultimately
I'm not saying give up your creative personality and just write and pander to your audience, be your own person, but at the same time, like certain topics maybe aren't for comedy anymore because people's tastes have evolved.
Yeah, Vic talked about riffing and bouncing ideas of one another. So your little ecosystem is very supportive. What's the general comedy scene like? Is it nurturing? Is it cutthroat? Is it somewhere in between?
I would say it's in between.
Yeah, it's weird because like there's parts of it that are brutal and not and very cutthroat and very like not supportive and nurturing. But then there's also parts of it that are like we all are going through this thing together. So there's people who will like post something in one of the Facebook groups and like you'll see hundreds of people comment like supporting or saying, hey, like try this, or like it's weird. It's like because we're all competing against each other, but we're also all going through this experience together, so we all get it, and we're the only people who get it. So it's kind of like it's a double-edged sword. But like I feel like once you've been in it for a little bit and you've like earned your stripes and like people know who you are and you're doing good stuff and you're not just like you're not like out to be an asshole. You're actually trying to work on your craft. People will like usually recognize that and also be supportive and like we, like Tyler was saying, like it's us three doing these shows and stuff, but like, if we need help on something or if I need to like ask someone about something, like I can solicit a something and people will jump to respond and be like, oh, here's a photographer you can try, or here's like a graphic designer I know, or like here's a guy who helped us direct our special. Like it's a very like, it's like there's no LinkedIn for comedians, but like there is like an internal kind of like movement and people know like what's happening and who are tapped in and they'll recognize like good work recognizes good work, I think.
Speaking of LinkedIn, going back to the corporate world, I have strangers recommending me for skills I don't have.
Well, I mean, is it flattering? Is anything good?
Yeah, it's great. I've been recommended for video production work. I don't know how to.
Yeah, that's a tall skill.
You did that Facebook Live video just now. Don't give yourself some credit.
That's pushing a button.
Yeah.
Which is video
I'm not doing transitions. I'm not. Yeah.
You're not in there on Final Cut Pro.
Thank you. Thank you. I can edit audio all day long. But
that's the thing. Is so many of that, like that whole economy that LinkedIn created around endorsing people. Yeah. It's really just people looking for you to endorse them back.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Because it says that right after you do it.
Everyone has to know. Even people who are looking at your endorsements has to know that this is all just people looking for endorsements. Like none of it's real. It devalued the endorsement.
I think a lot of people were not getting written recommendations, so they're like, we got to come something easier.
Yeah,
just like a like button equivalent to someone to just get.
But then to the opposite, when I see someone's LinkedIn and they have like multiple long written detailed reviews of like how great they are to work with from colleagues or clients they've worked with and all these things, I'm almost more suspicious because I'm like, these people took all this time to say this about you. Like,
what are you covering up?
They were just trying to get rid of you. They're like, he's so great, hire him at your company. You know?
I have a friend who works with someone who's just insufferable, just huge pain in the ass every day, just drives people insane. He got a glowing recommendation for a job he was going for, and I said to my friend, well, why would he get a glowing recommendation? Oh, we just all want to get rid of him.
He's leaving.
Oh, so it's a strategy at that point.
I thought that's it. That's such a great strategy.
Yeah,
that's actually
you got to
genius.
find someone who is like sneaking around behind their boss's back to interview, like sneaking out, like not someone who they're
so
pushing out. They're like, yeah, go for interviews, man. Take a long lunch, you know.
Yeah, don't worry, we'll cover
Stay
your
from
back.
home. Stay home, man.
Who are we to stand in the path of growth?
Yeah.
We want you to be successful.
Spread your wings and fly.
It makes us look good when you succeed.
Yeah,
That's
Well, no,
synergy. That's
we all
synergy,
want
is
to
what that
take
is.
on more work. Don't worry
Yeah,
about
please,
it.
please,
We'll
get the fuck
backfill that
out.
immediately.
Bring that shit.
Yeah.
All right, so Team Us, if people have listened to this podcast and they said, holy shit, I've got to see them perform.
Yeah.
What's the next step?
February 2nd, we're back at
Third.
back at CH Distillery in the West Loop. The first Saturday of every month, we're typically there. But the next step is teamuscomedy.com. You can find out about all our shows, get tickets to that show. The distillery is just a great time. Their cocktails are fantastic. Their food's good. The place is a ton of fun. And we have the best comics in Chicago coming through there. And just the show is always a great time. And it's a party. People just get drunk and have a great fucking time.
Yeah.
So always would love to see people there. It's a good one.
Tyler and Vic, I'm sorry the food sucked, but I enjoyed hanging out with you.
Yeah, no,
likewise.
I would get into your car strangely again. But maybe
Flatterer.
in front of a sandwich place next time.
Right. Just-
Maybe in front of a Whole Foods and we'll just go figure it out.
Oh yeah, we get those vegetables.
you know, there's a Mariano's like a block away.
Yeah, we
with
should
a
have just gone there.
salad bar.
Yeah, we should have just done that.
They have barbecue there. They've got oysters. We could have done any of that.
Man,
Trying to
Hey,
keep-
well, now we know.
know where
Now
we're
we
going
know.
after this.
Now we know.
Yeah,
Gentlemen, thank you so much.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.